Hello again, everyone. Edwin Leonard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about Venus square or opposition Mars in a natal chart. Now, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the aspects in a natal chart. They were a little bit concise. Some people may have referred to them as snappy, so what I decided to do was make another series on them in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing up is if you have Venus square or opposite Mars in a natal chart, there may be difficulty in terms of loving and enjoying, which is Venus, matters that require physical strength and just general, activities in general. The thing is, now let's say, if you have, and that is Mars, things that require physical strength activities in general. Now, let's say if you have Mars and Capricorn in your natal chart, those things that require, physical strength, activities in general, maybe tied in with, construction or something with architecture. It may just simply be your place of business. There could be efforts that are, done, to attain, greater stature in life, social status. It may be tied in with a Capricorn-related field or profession. As I stated before, construction, architecture are some examples. Others can include accounting, dentistry, information technology, carpentry. It could be, doing something, just with, your business, just in general, timekeeping. It could be work that involves clocks, watches, because Capricorn is associated with time. So another way that these aspects may manifest is that it may be hard to find, the energy and the vitality, which is Mars, to make money and generate income, which is Venus. Now, it could be the energy and or the enthusiasm, because both have a connection with Mars. Now, let's say if Venus is in Taurus, as an example, making money may be done, in a very persistent, methodical, deliberate, plotting manner. It could be connected with a Taurus-related field, whether it could be geology, carpet laying, architecture, agriculture, gardening, cultivation, farming, something that involves art or music, as some examples. Now, also too, these aspects can indicate that it could be hard to value, which is Venus, just taking action in general, in doing things, which is Mars, taking action, but also, just doing things, with little hesitation or procrastination as well. And the thing is, if Mars, say is in Gemini, as an example, actions may be tied in with manual dexterity, whether it be auto or refrigeration mechanics, as some examples. It could be in matters with communication, assimilating, disseminating information. It could be short journeys, as some examples, writing, things, anything that could be, Gemini related. Now, also too, there may be, a lack of enthusiasm, which is Mars, for doing things of an artistic nature, which is Venus. Now, let's say if Venus is in Pisces, as an example, the artistic, interests may include abstract art. It could be art that is fictional, fantastical, it's connected with fantasy. It could be fishes, or maybe art that is connected with the sea. As some examples, say if Venus is in Gemini, as another example, it could be animated, like cartoon, related art. Venus in Capricorn can be art that's, of a government nature, political, satire, things of that nature. Now, also too, these aspects may indicate acrimonious, disputes. Acrimony, disputes. Combat is confrontation, is connected with Mars, and these with your relationships, which is Venus. Now, if Mars is in Sagittarius, as an example, those disputes may be tied in with beliefs, philosophy, religion, higher education. It could be matters with expanding horizons, or maybe disputes even over sports related matters, or things that one is doing, even in the outdoors, as some examples. And there are also, if you have Venus square or opposite Mars in a natal chart, another way it may manifest is there may be difficulty in terms of having sex, not having sex in general, but having sex, which is Mars, that is enjoyable, peaceful, tranquil, and also express, sensuality in that, which is Venus. And Mars being, if Mars is in Aquarius as an example, it may be sex that, is very, might have some ingenuity in it, might be innovative, it may be, maybe there's some computer related, not computer, but maybe electronic, high tech, gizmos, toys that may be used as an example. Mars, if let's say, if Mars is in Capricorn, it may be more, of a conservative, conventional, orthodox, type of manner, not anything in which, anyone is really going outside the box space, so to speak. And now these aspects too may be inauspicious, as far as surgery, which is Mars, which could be, on the throat, the neck, the thyroid, kidneys, or lower back, which is connected with Venus. And there may also be difficulty in coming up, with money at times, which is Venus, to have surgery in general. Now, let's say, if Mars is in Scorpio, as an example, there could be, surgery, connected, with, it could be that private sector. It could be the colon, prostate, bladder, as some examples. Mars in Libra can indicate surgery, associated with the kidneys, the lower back, as some examples. Now, another thing too is that there may be trouble in terms of taking action, which is Mars, on spending. It could be buying and spending, which is Venus, when needed. Venus is in Leo, as an example, that, spending can be extravagant, it could be on entertainment items, things that are, that are enjoyment for the person. It could be spending on children or on some games, as some examples. There also may be difficulty, if you have either of these aspects in your natal chart, Venus square or opposite Mars, it may be difficult and hard at times to find that courage, which is Mars, in terms of standing up, for, people you're in relationships with, which includes significant friendships, which is, Venus. Now, let's say, if Venus is in the zodiac sign Cancer, as an example, your important friends, relationships in general, one or more may have a Cancer sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply embody the characteristics of the sign. It could be, people that are, very, caring, dedicated, devoted, tenacious, protective, introverted, but may also be moody and temperamental, as well. And another thing too about these aspects is that, the talents and abilities, which is Venus, may often not be beneficial to, the sexual partners, which is Mars, or it could simply be the expression, doing things that are associated with your talents and abilities may conflict, with activities with sexual partners, which is Mars. And the thing is, let's say, for example, if Venus is in Virgo, those talents and abilities may be tied in with something with diagnostic work. It could be things with health and fitness, organization, compartmentalizing things that require analysis. It could be things of an intellectual nature in general. And also too, these aspects can also indicate that there may be some lack of drive and motivation, which is Mars, to generate money and accumulate possessions, which is Venus. Now, let's say, for example, Venus is in Aries. It could be, military, items. It might be possessions, connected with sports. As another example, maybe even the combat. I would say combat sports even more. Specifically items that can be used, to defend, oneself. It could be, those are some examples. If Venus is in Gemini, it could be communication items. Venus in Aquarius can be, items associated with astronomy or astrology, computers, electronics, as some examples. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Leonard saying, stay well.